So the last time I spoke about KQ and about perception being the co-pilot to reality, and value is derived from perception. But let me give you a separate airline story. And, I'm going to beg everybody who works for KQ to bear with me here. And the story I'm going to tell you about is Qatar. The reason I'm picking on Qatar is that they don't know me. But in 2013 and 2014, I probably was across the Atlantic, I don't know, 8 times. Because I was in school and it was, Nairobi, New York, Nairobi, LA. It was a nightmare. The people who made it bearable was Qatar. Now, how did I end up on Qatar? When the company is paying for your airline ticket, my friend, financial controller will ask for 3 quotations and he picks the cheapest. And you'll be surprised, Nairobi, New York on Qatar at the time was $4,700 business. I'm sorry, I don't fly any other way. Yeah, say what you want. But the same on KQ was about $6,700. You do the math, okay? So there I am on Qatar, heading off to New York. It's Nairobi, Doha, about 5 hours. Doha to New York is 13. And first time I get on board, I think, awesome, nice airline, nice colors. But it doesn't take long for you to realize you're the only darkie in business class. And then you're not just the only darkie, you're the only female darkie in business class. And, I was wondering whether I'm going to get a little different treatment here. Man, this is a Middle Eastern airline. And I realized, no drama. They just kept going. And I was like, okay, so Nairobi, Doha, Doha, New York. But for me, what was awesome, and it was repeated at least 5 times in that period of time, is what happened on the flight back. Now, what I would do is leave New York at about 9 and land in Doha at about 6. And the connection out of Doha to Nairobi is at 7 in the evening. So I'd land here at midnight. So the first time I was on that flight home, I realized I was the only passenger in business. And you're sitting there thinking, okay, this is nice. It's like having a private jet to yourself. But you're also a little concerned that these people don't know who you are, and you are a black female traveling alone. These people are like clockwork on Qatar. They're Filipino, Singaporean, Middle Eastern. They got on with it. Ma'am, where would you like to sit? Madam, what would you like to eat? Madam, would you like your dinner down? Madam. I got more tired of telling them that I was fine as opposed to the flight. And I came off the flight and I thought, that was interesting. And I thought, that happened the first time. But the second time, once again, I was the only passenger on business class because I realized nobody is interested in landing in Nairobi at midnight other than me. The third time it happened, I actually wrote a letter. And there's a screenshot of the letter on this YouTube piece. And I wrote to them and I told them, what I find amazing about you is that you don't know me. You see, when you're Caroline Mutoko, you expect and accept a certain amount of notoriety goes with your name. What you're not ready for is to be treated beautifully by people who don't know you at all. And that's when I realized for Qatar, service, an excellent service, is something they do naturally. It's something they do naturally. It's one thing if I wish I was 6'2", walked around with bodyguards, and then, you get that preferential treatment. But really, all I was me. That's it. Sat down, got A-class treatment as the only passenger on business class 4 times. And not just the only passenger, as a black female traveling alone. So I did write to Qatar. I actually dropped off a letter in Doha. And I also gave one to the team at Barclays Plaza, just because I think they need to know that they're awesome. And the reason I tell you this story in relation to KQ is, by and large, when I get great service on KQ, I expect it. And I don't take it for granted, but I expect it. Actually, by and large, I'm always like, leave me alone. But for me to get that level of treatment and even better on a foreign airline, where it is clear the crew don't even know who I am, now that is exceptional. That is exceptional. And that's something, as I say to KQ, deal with a perception value issue. That's where I'm coming from. Sorry. But I thought I need to tell you that story. I also have an Emirates story. Shall we tell that one? Okay, I'll tell you my Emirates story. Okay? Okay, in a moment. Subscribe so you can get the Emirates story. But give me your feedback, not necessarily on Qatar, but on Qatar, if it's nothing like mine, but on KQ. KQ is an awesome airline. It's a perception problem. That's all.